Sightings of unexplainable spirits and images seem to date back as far as written history goes, but more detailed witness descriptions would seem to indicate that there may in fact be multiple different types of ghosts. What if the wind was just thousands of spirits floating around, moving at the same time? From violent ghosts who don't leave until their demands are met, to spirits who visit people during a time of need. Here are different types of ghosts. But first, quick shout out goes to Becca Ayers for leaving us this comment on a recent video about strange superstitions. We think you'll enjoy this spooky video about different types of ghosts as well. Let us know which ghost you think is the scariest, and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. Number 12. Vanishing Hitchhikers. Have you ever been on a road before, got a little bit bored, and decided to pick up a hitchhiker on the side of the street? As you engage in some small talk, later on you notice they mysteriously vanish into thin air? If you have, it's possible that you might have made a ghostly encounter with a vanishing hitchhiker ghost. This first started out as an urban legend in a non-fictional book that goes by the same name. Accounts of this bizarre phenomenon date back to the 1870s though. Vanishing hitchhikers will typically look as though they're in a very vulnerable situation, such as being stuck in the snow with little clothing on. The driver will become confused, but later on realize that someone matching that description had lost her life in a very unexpected way, such as a car crash or from a homicide. Some might attribute these bizarre occurrences due to hallucinations or from too much time on the road. Number 11. White Ladies. The ghostly apparitions of women in white dresses, the White Lady is one of the more common ghost sightings and widespread across the globe. A spirit of a woman that appears white was often deemed as pure and holy before their untimely demise, as opposed to black or red apparitions for the most part. Many of them are also known to have lost their lives out of grief of loved ones, from an accident, on their wedding night, or during a moment of heartbreak. One of them that's well known is from Ireland. The story goes that a military guard fell asleep and was executed by the father of the woman. When she received the news of her loved one's demise, she leapt from an Irish cliffside. Now she haunts the Charles Fort and is known as the White Lady of Kinsale. The Charles Fort is now one of Ireland's most visited landmarks too. Number 10. The Headless Horseman. Mainly considered to be a mythical ghost, this one is pretty self-explanatory. Depending on the legend, this ghost might be carrying around his head in his arms, or he's got nothing at all and is looking around for his head somewhere. A short story written by Washington Irving was made into a film known as Sleepy Hollow, which talks about a ghost who lost his head during the Battle of White Plains after it was shot off with a cannon. He rises from the grave and searches for his head, but with no luck. This tale might have slightly evolved from Irish folklore, who talks about a headless fairy who uses a human spine as a whip. This brings a whole nother meaning to ghost riding the whip. Some of the folklore might also come from creepy depictions of Christian martyrs who are portrayed like this guy carrying their head, like St. Denis for example. While there haven't been a lot of sightings of the Headless Horseman, there have been plenty of sightings of a headless Anne Boleyn at the Tower of London, so watch out. Number 9. Civil War Ghosts. Ghosts of Civil War soldiers are commonly reported, especially in the southern states. Many believe that Gettysburg Battlefield is haunted by the ones who lost their lives there. There was so much energy that just seemed to be lost here, it almost seems as though there's no way for it to not be haunted. It's believed that during the 3-day battle, there were 50,000 casualties. Buildings nearby have been featured on Ghost Hunters, Most Haunted, and also Ghost Adventures. Tourists who come to visit Gettysburg often get a ghoulish surprise and noticing white orbs in their photos. This old photo was taken in a house during the Civil War and was undergoing renovations. The person who was about to buy it might have changed their minds after seeing this photo. It's believed that Confederate soldiers slept in the cellar where this photo was taken. It shows a ghost walking up the stairs from the cellar, lonely and discouraged. With so many lives lost during this great American battle, couldn't a few souls still be wandering around? Number 8. Poltergeists. The word poltergeist comes from German, which translates to noisy ghost, and that's what this type of ghost is known for. Things such as loud noises, shaking furniture, sudden closing of doors, and so on might be a sign. The Moon River Brewery, located in Georgia, has been home to 4 different fires, a hurricane, a violent shooting, and now poltergeist activity. It's home to a restaurant, and many of the workers will tell you that there's something just not quite right about this place. They're known for wreaking total havoc on certain places that might have had a dark past and can be brought in by summoning evil spirits with a Ouija board. Other paranormal investigators claim that poltergeist activity can be explained by psychokinesis. Number 7. The Flying Dutchman. You might have heard of the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob SquarePants, but this is actually a legendary ghost ship. As you see from this photo in the video game cover, the cartoon of the Flying Dutchman is portrayed as a green pirate ghost in a green ship and somehow speaks with a Scottish accent. The real legend of the story, though, is a tad bit more frightening. It's believed that the myth of the Flying Dutchman originated in the 17th century. The legend has it that it's a ghost ship that can't find a port and is still doomed to sail for eternity and collects the souls of the ones who are lost at sea. People believe to have spotted this true ghost ship while sailing the seas in the 19th and the 20th century with a glowing light. Nicolas Montserrat, a famous novelist, apparently witnessed this event in the Pacific Ocean while in the Navy in WW2. He described it as a strange red light in the shape of a phantom ship and claimed 13 people in his crew saw the Flying Dutchman as well. Optical illusion or ghost ship? Number 6. Ghost trains. All aboard the ghost train with a direct trip to HE double toothpicks. Trains can be a little bit creepy sometimes, and many people might end up getting the wrong way of one or getting stuck on the tracks with nowhere to go. Such is the case for the haunted railway in San Antonio, which has been quite the mysterious urban legend. Story has it, the conductor could not stop in time, and 10 children lost their lives while being stuck in the bus. Many still claim they hear the laughter of children along the railway, and this photo here was taken in the air of the collision. Others have claimed that trains that have derailed will relive the horrifying experiences in the form of a ghost. Number 5. The Red Lady. The Red Lady is a spirit of a woman who's similar to the White Lady, but is often reported wearing a red dress. The legend typically pertains to the spirit of a woman who's a jilted lover, a woman who's killed in passion, or a woman who's enjoyed too much indulgence. She'll be spotted roaming around historical hotels, old theaters, castles, and other places. One place where one might encounter the Red Lady is on the Queen Mary ship in Long Beach, California. One of the sightings occurred when they spotted a red lady sitting in a chair in the middle of the lounge, standing between two mirrors. They claimed that her appearance was visible for about 10 minutes. Liebe Castle, one of the most haunted places in Ireland, is said to be home to some mysterious entities. Cartloads of human bones were also removed from this site a while ago from the dungeon, and even reports of a red ghost holding onto a dagger. Number 4. White Lady of Worstead Church. In 1975, a man named Peter took this photo of his wife Diane praying and sitting on a bench in a church in Norfolk, UK. He later on looked at this photo and asked his wife who was sitting behind her. It appeared to possibly be an elderly woman wearing all white. His wife Diane was baffled and didn't recall anyone sitting behind her. They then showed it to the reverend of the church. He then explained that it was a legendary white lady who often arrives when someone's in the need of healing. When Diane visited the church, she was undergoing treatment for an illness. Number 3. BlackEyed Children. We all know there's just something slightly unsettling about children with no parents walking around at night. Some have had unsettling experiences with black-eyed children while sitting in their car. Sometimes they knock on the windows to the driver's side, but they keep their eyes covered with a hoodie. Although the conversations just seem normal at first, witnesses will report an immediate feeling of horror. The children will become more and more pushy if they don't get their way and will resort to violence if necessary. Finally, the witness will notice that the children have pitch black eyes with no iris and no pupils. Some claim that these are ghosts of children who lost their lives from trusting strangers. Number 2. The Monk Ghost of Newby Church. This photo was taken at the Newby Church in North Yorkshire, England, and is one of the most authentic ghost photos we have to this day. Taken in 1963, the snapshot here has been surrounded in mystery and controversy. The reverend who took this swears by its authenticity and saw nothing at the altar the day he took it. The church has no spooky history though until now. The experts who analyzed it claimed that there was no double exposure and the ghost in the photo would stand about 9 feet tall. People claim it was a monk from the 16th century who wore a mask due to leprosy. Number 1. Ouray. You might be familiar with the Aokigahara Forest located at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan, but you may have no idea how truly haunted this place actually is. People who come here are allegedly driven mad by ghosts known as Ouray who lust after destruction. It's often described as a spirit that's been lost after that person had lost their life suddenly or from self-inflicted injuries. They have powerful emotions that are often filled with rage, love, revenge, jealousy, hatred, and sorrow. They're often fueled by a desire that they never fulfilled during their lifetime. The best way to get rid of these demons is to help it fulfill its purpose. It can only be done if the family of the Ouray seeks revenge upon their slayer or if it gains the love of whom it was passionate about before.